Hi guys, I am so excited to show you this haunted house dollhouse that I have designed. You'll find the cutting files at the Silhouette Design Store and the SVG cutting files at my shop at shop.lorywhitlock.com. And this is what the project looks like. It is so much fun because when you flip it over, you get to see the inside of the haunted house. Isn't that cool? So just to give you kind of a size relation, this is a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, so it's almost 11 inches tall. It's about 10.5 tall, and it's not quite 8.5 wide, so like 7 inches wide or so, something like that. It's about 1.5 inches, maybe almost a little over 7 inches wide, and it's just so cute. It'd make a great little table decoration. And I think kids would think that it's so much fun that you can look inside. So you've got this little skeleton in a bed here, and you've got a little armoire and a little table and chair set. Some little hanging spider details and some bats here on the chair and on the bed. And then on the front, you've got this cool spider web. We've got window casings for the inside and the outside, and a little door on the inside and the outside, and these cute little ghosts to haunt our house. So let's get started putting this together. There's quite a few pieces to this project. It's pretty simple to put together, but if this is your very first cutting project, might be a little bit more advanced than you're ready for. If you've put together a few three-dimensional projects, you should be good to go. This is really not very difficult to put together. There are some, a lot of little pieces as far as putting together like a box card type piece here for the bed, a little box for the armoire, putting together the table and chairs, just things like that, each of those little pieces are kind of like a little project by themselves. So it'll take a little bit of time. But really, I think I assembled this entire project in about an hour. So yeah, just enjoy, have fun putting this together. It's kind of like putting together a puzzle. So I hope you enjoy making this project, and we will get started. Let's put together the second story of our haunted house. So we're going to be putting together this portion right here. Okay, so what you have in front of you is the main house piece. We've got some little drop down eave pieces. This is the roof that's going to bend up and down and go across there. And then this is the roof top that's going to go on top of that piece. So it'll make it hang over just a little bit. So this is a piece that can cover and become like the carpet or the flooring for the house. So what I've done is gone ahead and installed the covering panel for the wallpaper on the back wall of this upstairs. And I'm just going to go ahead and start forming the box here. Since we're looking into the house, we're going to pull those walls forward. And the floor as well. And these little glue tabs here on the side of the floor are just going to glue down, and the little carpet piece is going to cover those up, so you don't have to worry about those showing. If you don't want to install carpet, you could glue those underneath, and then they'll be hidden in between the two layers of the houses when we glue them together here. So that's totally up to you. I'm just going to go ahead and plan on covering them with the carpet. Okay, and our roof line is going to go, actually let's use this piece here first, is going to fold up into our peak here, and then into our valley there, and then we've got another peak here at the end. So it looks just like that. Okay, and then we're going to fold these back. And we actually have a piece that's going to glue. Oops, sorry about that. Oh, I have done something wrong here. Those are going to go. We got to go the other direction with those. Okay, so this is going to peak and valley and peak. And we've got to glue this on to the back. And we're going to do it on the back side of this because we have a covering panel that's going to cover the whole front of our house. So if you wanted to, you could put this on before you add the wallpaper, and it could hide under there if you don't want to decorate the other side of your house with a covering panel. But we do. So we're going to go ahead and just glue that on the outside of the house. And then these little pieces here are just going to pull up and glue to the underside of that roof to hold it on. Okay. So I don't know if it's easier for you to glue the bottom up first or the roof on first. I'm going to work on the roof first because it seems like it might be a little bit easier. So I'm just going to take a little adhesive and put it on all these glue tabs here. And like I said, I'm gonna put that glue where it glues to the outside or the front of the house. Okay, so we're just going to put that in place, and we'll use the table to help us push that down. Just make sure that those all get a good press. And let that dry. And now while that's drying, we can go ahead and put some adhesive here on these little tabs. And I'm just going to glue that to the inside here of the roof, and you can use the table to kind of help you push that down. And I'm going to do the same thing here on the other side. Again, I'm just using the table there to help me push that down. And then we have our bottom two pieces here. And we're going to cover that with carpet, so they're just going to glue to the inside. I'm just going to use a table here. Push those down. Okay, so that is the upstairs story of our haunted house. At this point, you just want to go ahead and put your covering panels on for your window casings on the inside here. And you could have gone ahead and put those on earlier if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. Make sure you get this one oriented the right way. Okay, isn't that getting cute? So now we're just ready to do our little carpet piece right here on the bottom. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little glue on the back of that. One of the fun things about this haunted house is planning all the colors, so you can get really creative. You can just see that that just covers that bottom up nicely, so you can't see those seams, and gives it a little bit more texture in there. I'm just going to leave the walls black on mine. And now we're going to work on the actual roof. And if you'll see, the little trim pieces are attached to the front of that larger roof piece, so that's what we're going to do next. So we're just going to fold those tabs back. And the small ones work just the same. And one of these is going to go on this side, and the other one is going to go on the other side. So if you'll notice, the large ones are identical the way that they're constructed, but these smaller ones actually have one little area where it hangs off the edge of the house right here, where it's not glued to anything. So you'll want to make sure you use the one that looks like this. for the inside, and the other one will go on the outside. So one of them is going to have the little edge hanging off here, and one's over here. So you'll just want to orient the other one for the outside of the house going the other way. So I'll put that one up here so I remember that that's for the outside of the house. And we'll go ahead and start forming our roof. And you can see that's just going to sit right on top of that. And we just need to put our little gable pieces in right there. So we just need to put a little adhesive on the outside of these pieces. Might be easier to flip that over and use the table to help you. Okay, and then we're going to do the exact same thing here on the other side. Just make sure it butts right up there to the edge of that paper. Okay, so that's looking really good. Now we just need to do the same thing to the small peak over here. Okay, and now we have our last little gable piece to put in. And now that you have both gable pieces installed, you're ready to put the roof on the house, just like that. You're just going to center that in the space and glue it right on. So you can see, yep, you just want to make sure it's centered. So we'll go ahead and put some adhesive here on the top of the house. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the roof installed, and that completes our upstairs portion of the house. Now we're going to put together the bottom portion of the house. It's the section down here, and it has the door. It's the inside door, and there's kind of a wallpaper covering panel and then another carpet covering panel here. So let's go ahead and first fold up the house. So all of these panels will fold forward. And the bottom of the house is the skinny side. And the top is the fatter side up here. And then you've got to think about your glue tabs here. I don't really want mine to show on the outside, so I'm just going to go ahead and put them inside and plan on covering those up with the little covering panel for the carpet here. And then up here on the top, it won't really matter because you're not really going to see them, but I'm going to go ahead and put them on the outside so that they'll be glued between the layers of my houses here. Then it'll be hidden in there. So just kind of think through what side you're putting the glue on for each of these panels, or each of these glue tabs. I'll start with the bottom ones. And again, the bottom is the smaller, skinnier side. And you might want to stand that up and just use the table to help you get some pressure on that. And these are going to go on the outside, like I mentioned, so just make sure you get the glue on the right side of those. And we have a piece that is meant to look like the wallpaper in the background. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that down in there. And honestly, that probably would have been a little bit easier to put on before I glued those sides up, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and put it on now. So just have to carefully put that down in there and center that in the space. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and put our carpet down on the bottom. Okay, so that's how our little room down there looks. We need to put our door in. So we're just gonna glue this little frame around the edge first. And I'm just gonna use a pop dot to put that in place, to make it look like it's got a little dimension on the back wall there. And when it's all ready, and actually, I'm gonna put the little spider web on the wall behind it. So before I glue this panel on, I'm going to go ahead and put the little doorknob on, which is just a little mini brad. You can insert it in the hole there. Just open that up and flatten it out. Okay, so that's what the doorknob looks like, and then we'll just glue that on. Okay, we'll just let that dry for a moment while we put our spider web in place. So I'm just going to have that, let's see, yeah, we're going to put it this way in the back there. So I'm just going to use a little bit of glue sparingly. Again, this might be easier for you to do before you put that back panel, when you put that back panel in before gluing the sides up, but this works as well. Sometimes it's easier and more fun to embellish after you can see the room and decide what you want it to look like. If you wanted to cut another one of these, it'd be cute up in that other corner too, but I just did one. Looks like we need just a little more glue under here. Hold that panel down. Oops, I got a little too much now. That's okay, it'll dry clear. Okay, we're going to flip that over and put a couple of little foam dots on that. And then we'll just glue that right in the middle, in the back there. And that completes our bottom story of our house. And now all we need to do is glue that to our top story, and it's going to look just like that. So to put those together, I am just going to go ahead and coat this, the top of the bottom story here. Just want to give that some good pressure and make sure it glues nice and smooth. And look how cute that's getting. How fun is that? And it stands up really nice. Now we're going to cover this side panel here with a long covering panel, and then we've got a cute little covering panel for that for decoration. So this black piece here is just going to add some extra sturdiness to the house so it doesn't bow or buckle. I'm going to coat that nicely so we don't have any gaps. We'll just put that right down this side. I'm going to flip that over and use the table. So that really helps add a lot of strength and keeps that side nice and straight. I'm going to insert a little glue here at this seam. I'm going to hold that real tight, make sure it looks really good through there. So then once you've done that, you can go ahead and put on this cute covering panel. Isn't that cool? It's going to make our house look really nice. That should have about 1/8 of an inch gap all around the edges there. And just make sure everything glues down nicely. If you see any areas that need extra glue, this little precision tip glue bottle is super nice because you can get a little extra glue right where you need it. Just use that table to kind of help you put some pressure on that. Okay, and we're going to let that dry. Work on the other side a little bit. On this side, I've got a couple of covering panels, and you can decide what you want to do. I cut this one out of this color, so you might want to just continue that color onto the other side as well. Or you might want to get creative and do some other colors. Like that could be kind of fun to have one side that color and another side another color. But I'm just going to go ahead and continue on with the same color here and here. So let's go ahead and put some glue on those and put them in place. Then we're going to be ready to start embellishing our house and decorating it a little bit more. Okay, so we've got this cool long panel on this side and these panels here, and then our inside's all ready to go. For the outside of our house, we have got these cute embellishments. So the first thing you're going to want to do is cover the whole front of the house with this big black piece that will cover all of our little glue tabs up here around the roof line and our seam through the middle. The little windows should line right up, and you'll be ready to start embellishing the front. So let's go ahead and put some adhesive on that. Make sure you get your adhesive on the right side of that. I'm just going to go ahead and use the bigger glue bottle for this one. I've noticed that works a little bit better when you're doing the bigger pieces. Let's flip that over and put that right in place. You can use those little windows to help you line it up right where it goes. I love the little spider that hangs off here. If you don't want that, you could just trim that off with a pair of scissors, but it's really cute. Might make it a little bit harder to store, but you can just trim it right off if you need to. And we've got another door, just like we had on the inside. We want to put that door in the same spot on the outside right here. So again, we just need to get a little mini brad. Go ahead and put the front door together just the way you did the inside door there. And we're going to glue that here, but before we do that, let's go ahead and add the rest of the embellishments. So there's this cute little spider and web that we're going to attach, and it kind of just attaches right over this piece to give it a little extra strength. So we'll just go ahead and add some adhesive to that. Let's flip that over. Just line it right up on top of that spider, and then that will force it into the right position here on the house. And if you want to flip that over and put a little pressure, well, actually you can't too much here because the roof line's keeping it up from the table. So we'll just use our hands. If you wanted to put a couple little dots on there for eyes, you could do that. Okay, and then we have our little window casings. this one goes right up here. Just make sure you get it oriented the right way. That looks correct to me. Okay, and then we're going to pop dot our door here, and then you can just put the ghosts wherever you think they work. And you could use a pop dot or not, or I think this one looks cute, kind of behind the door, kind of coming out of the door. So I'm going to put a couple of foam dots here on the door. Actually, I want to scoot that one over a little bit, so that way our ghost can go behind it. So just right in here, just center that and across the bottom here. And then you can just add your little ghost right behind that door. I think that looks really cute. And this one, I think I'll add a little pop dot to him, or two. Maybe three. And let's put him right there. How fun is that? There's the front of our little haunted house. And here's the inside. So now we just need to finish our little decorations and embellishments for the inside. So I have got 4 items, I guess it is, that we need to put together. We're going to put together a little bed and an armoire and a table and chair set. So I'm just going to set this off to the side for a minute, and let's get started on the little bed. We've got a little ghost in a bed, or a little skeleton in a bed here. So we'll just go ahead, and this is going to assemble just like my box cards. So let's go ahead and fold everything towards the front here. And we're just going to glue that right there. So we'll just, actually before we do that though, let's go ahead and put our panel back here on the back of the bed. And then on the outside of the bed here on the footboard, we're going to put this piece. So let's go ahead and put that on now too. If you wanted to do some inking or distressing on these pieces, that'd be really cute. Okay, so then we just need to glue that. And I'm actually going to just lay everything flat to glue that in place. And then we have our little, we have layer 1 and 2 here. They have little numbers cut out of them. You can't see the 1 very well because it didn't quite fall out, but there's 1 and 2. So let's go ahead and put our little skeleton in place. And then we'll just fold his little tabs back. And we're just going to put some adhesive on those 2 sides. And you can just kind of roll that flat and glue that down so it fits into place. And then for the other layer, we're just going to put this little layer in to kind of look like his quilt or his bedding just sitting over him. Okay, so there's our little skeleton guy, and he is just going to sit right here in our house, right over here. And I wasn't planning on gluing these in place, but you could if you wanted to. It's totally up to you. So he's going to sit kind of under this area here. And so let's go ahead and put the armoire together, and that's going to sit over here next to the bed. Okay, we've got all the pieces here for the armoire. We do need one more brad here for the handle on that. So just go ahead and put that through the hole. Open that up and flatten it out good. And then we've got the door on the armoire. You can just kind of bend that open a little if you want to. It doesn't need to come all the way open, but just a little bit there. And then this little covering panel goes right over the door section. And these two covering panels are going to go on the panels right next to the door. And we're not covering the back of the armoire because we won't really see that. So just these two sides here. So then you just need to fold on all the score marks towards the inside. Just be really careful here by the door as you are folding that, not to get that folded funny. So you just have to be real careful to protect that door. And just so you're aware, there are some little top pieces here to the top of the armoire, little ears that hang out to the sides, just to add a little decorative element to it. Make sure you don't fold those. So we'll just take a little glue, first of all, and put it right there on that glue tab. Fold that over. And then it's just a matter of gluing the top and the bottom in place. Okay, so there's our cute little armoire, and that is just gonna sit right here next to our bed. Cute, how cute is that? Okay, so next we're gonna put together the embellishments for the downstairs. I think that'd be really cute to cut another ghost too, maybe coming out of that armoire. That'd be darling. Okay, so let's put our little table together. So we're just going to fold all these score marks, fold everything in one direction. These are the glue tabs. They're just going to glue on the back side of the tabletop here. You have to be really careful on these legs to just fold over on those score marks. They're kind of skinny pieces. Okay, we're just going to cut, those corners are just going to overlap, and this tabletop is just going to fold over and glue. So let's overlap those corners on the legs first. I'm just going to lay that down flat and just fold that over, and we're just going to glue that right on top of the other layer. Just give that a good press so it can dry. And then we do need that to fold again, so just get that train to fold in half. That's how our little table is going to stand up, like that. And then those little 4 pieces or 3 pieces are just going to be our glue tabs for that tabletop. Look how cute that is. So let's just put some adhesive here on those. Okay, look how cool that cute little table is. So now we're just going to put together the little chair that goes with it. Again, we're just going to fold all those little legs right in half. And they're kind of skinny, so just be real careful. And this is the bottom of the chair, so just fold that over. And this is the back of the chair, so you don't want to fold it. Okay, so let's first fold and glue. And this is kind of a tedious little project here. But let's just fold and glue those 2 legs to stick together to form the chair. And then we'll put the chair bottom in place. You just fold those 2 glue tabs over, and that's what's going to hold the chair bottom in place, just like that. Okay, so there's our cute little chair and our table, and they work just like that. So those are going to go down here in our little kitchen area, right in front of the door here. And it is going to kind of cover up the door a little bit, but when you stand it up, it looks a little bit better And that can just kind of sit out here. We'll just kind of set him out in here when we put it together or stand it up. It's kind of hard for me to show from a top view here, but there's the inside with all the cute little embellishments. Another thing that I have on the back of the chair, I was going to put a little bat. So you can just put a little glue on that and add him as an embellishment to the back of that chair, which I think is super cute. And we have a cute little spider that can hang here. So let's just glue that up under there. You can decide how far down you want it to hang. I'm just going to glue mine up pretty high so you can see the cute window. Almost looks like a chandelier hanging down. And then, let's see. Yep, that's about it. That's what we've got for our embellishments. And of course you could get creative and add some more. Ooh, I do have one more little bat here. Let's put him on the bed. I'm just going to add a little pop dot to that. Look how fun. I think kids will absolutely love this. What a fun little decoration for the holidays. Not only do you get to see the cute outside of this haunted house, you get to see the cool inside. There's the outside. Be a really cute little centerpiece table decoration, but then you also get to have a little peek inside here to our little dollhouse inside. How fun is that? So I hope you enjoy this cute little project, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And let me know if you have any questions. Please leave us some comments on Facebook or upload your version of this cute little haunted dollhouse. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.